my peoples, and my plant people. So we are back again, like we never left. How are you feeling? How are you doing? Okay. Yeah, I feel that. Okay. All right. Well, I hope it goes better for you. I hope you have a really good week. Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. We are back again. And of course, we're going to talk about some more plants. If you don't know me, I'm Jumanji's Plants. Plant Daddy Extraordinaire. Now, I don't know if they call me that, but Plant Daddy for sure. As you kind of see, my love is behind me. Of course, I want to talk about my love with you. So, one plant that I absolutely love, it definitely is a top 3 genus of plants, is Alocasia. So I really want to just kind of talk about and show off a couple of my Alocasias and how they're doing, and just kind of really talk about it in that shape and form, because I do love my Alocasias, and I think that they are a very easygoing plant. I think that a lot of people start off with Alocasias or whatnot, especially if it's not like maybe a peace lily, because you can find peace lilies in like grocery stores. Maybe like a ficus of some sort. But Alocasias are pretty easy. A lot of people just call them elephant ears. That's how a lot of people kind of recognize them to be. But I just wanted to show you some of my Alocasias and the way that I have them. So it's kind of how I got mine growing and things like that. And that's pretty much what I want to do. I love Alocasias. I think that there are so many different varieties of Alocasias. I think that there are so many shapes of Alocasias. I have some that are flowering. I have some that just look very odd, look like some of them are climbing. Like I'm gonna show you a variety of different Alocasias and the way that I have them growing. I would say that I'm gonna just say over 10 different Alocasias. I think I have at least over 10 different ones. I'm just kind of looking around. And I'm gonna just show it to you, so you know how we do. Actually, I'm kind of change it up just a little bit. So I'm gonna put them down below real quick, so you go see some plants just flourish real quick, and then we're just gonna kind of talk about them a little bit one by one. And I hope y'all feeling that. I love Alocasias. I'm an Alocasia person, so I am always on the lookout for a really nice Alocasia. So here we go. So here we are, and as I said, I have a lot of Alocasias. So I'm gonna talk about them. I'm gonna tell you their conditions and watering and stuff like that as best as possible, so that you can, do better with your Alocasias. So I guess I will start left to right, your right, my left, or whatnot. Like I said, I have a lot of Alocasias. I don't even have all of them up here, but I'll pull them up here as needed. So yeah. So I'll start down here. This right here is my Alocasia odora. As you see, I have it in a small glass container with leca. And this thing grows really huge, as you can kind of see right now. It is holding down 3 leaves. I can see another leaf is coming, and that makes me really excited. I pretty much just fill this with water pretty much all the time. I try to make sure that it does not get dry. Alocasias are very thirsty plants. One thing that I have not really had to battle too much with is like scale or anything like that. But these things can definitely attract a lot of different a lot of different like spider mites. That's what they are, spider mite magnets or whatnot. So a good just washing down with some neem oil, some Dr. Bronner's. I usually use like the peppermint oil is really good, and yeah, it helps out a lot. So for me, I like to just you know, keep it into my window where it gets a lot of light, and it works out pretty well that way. I have not really had any trouble with it. I don't think I got any corms with it yet. I know the one thing about alocasias is if you keep it in leca, unless the plant grows upward, which you will see a couple of my plants grow upward out of like the soil or the leca. Typically the corms will grow under the leca, and unless the corm is really strong, it will just turn into mush. So that's just one thing that I caution people if you're going to grow your alocasias in leca. But for me, leca is like the best medium because it likes to stay wet and then sometimes dry out a little bit. So it's good when I put the water in there, and it just flourishes. As you can kind of see, I don't touch these. I just put water in them, nutrient water all the time, and these are growing very, very well. I don't seem to have any spider mites on there, but of course spraying it down will help prevent it from happening. So I love that for me. I hope that you guys can get some of these alocasias as I'm talking about them. But yeah, so let's go on to the next one. So the next one that I have here is a mini regal chill. I have my actual huge one. So this here is my regal that I got like the corms off of, and I just pretty much just potted it up, just found something to pot it up in. And then this one is my big regal, and as you see, these leaves are magnificent. These are very, very huge leaves. Let me put it down. It's a very heavy plant. You definitely need some space with this right here. So if you have like a smaller space, this is definitely not an alocasia. I would definitely say that this is a giant alocasia. Actually, let me stand up and I'll show you how it kind of looks from the top. So that is kind of a better look at it or whatnot. As you kind of see to the left of me or whatnot, this plant is very, very huge. I see them like in Florida or whatnot, like in the ground, and I can see why. But I had to put it in this one right here. So I had to put it in this right here because it is such a heavy one, and then I have it in leca or whatnot. So now that it is a lot more settled in, I can better take care of this whatnot. This one is a very dirty plant. I probably water this one probably like twice a week. I will say I get maybe a leaf a month or maybe every 3 weeks, something like that. I haven't really gotten any spider mites on this right here. As you can see, that purple-ish bottom is definitely something that is very significant of the regal. It also makes it very beautiful. I absolutely love it. It looked like an upside down heart. This is a very gorgeous plant. I absolutely love this plant. Whenever I saw it, I just instantly like fell in love with it because of how gorgeous it is and how big it is and whatnot. I can see this as kind of like a tribal plant, like if you know how to make kind of like plates off of certain plants and stuff like that. I can see this being something like that, just because of how big it is and how beautiful it is. But then it grows pretty quickly too. Like I said, I keep it in the water. I put Spagnoss moss on top so that if any any corms are caught in it, then it will start to grow from Spagnoss moss. And I absolutely love Spagnoss moss with corms, as you will see. I have also used fluval stratum as well for it. Also, what's it called? Perlite is really good for it as well. So this regal is a very big, beautiful plant. As you see, I have to keep it in a very spacious area. I actually keep it over by my door because they are so big and beautiful that anything less than would just be kind of like, I'm not really showing the plant off. So I probably will be moving this pretty soon because it is so big and it's only getting bigger. And I've seen these grow really huge. So this is almost kind of medium size, I believe so. I think that they get even bigger than that, especially if they have a lot of nutrients in the growth. So I love this regal here. Definitely one of my favorites. I won't say top 3, but maybe top 5. But it is a very, very gorgeous plant. I absolutely love this plant. I love to see it. I love to see how big it is. I love to see like new leaves come in as there's new leaves over here or a new leaf over here. Try not to touch it. Looks like there's some white residue. I think it probably hit some wall or something like that. But this is a very gorgeous plant. As you see, it is very entertaining because of how big it is. And yeah, you know, hope that you guys can get a plant like this right here because it definitely is. It definitely makes the difference. So, yep. This here is the Longaloba. Typically, I see the Longaloba fatter than this right here, like side to side. But this one is actually pretty skinny. But I absolutely love this plant. If you can see, I'm gonna have to come closer. The pattern on it, kind of like a snake pattern, it's looking really, really gorgeous. I absolutely love that. It definitely gives a character to the purple backside, and then the leaves just kind of look like a type of wolf or something like that. I absolutely love this plant. I definitely need to repot it because as you kind of see, it has a nice little gangster ring on it. And you can also see there are some corms. So what I'm going to actually do, oh, and they already fallen down. Okay, so I'm going to just, of course, take the corms. If you have ever watched Unplanned Parenthood, she usually takes off the covering and then put it in Spagmoss, fluval, leca, whatever you can put it in, and let it grow that way. You can just put it down like this right here, but I think it takes a little bit longer. But since I have now 2 corms, that's really good because I can have another pot of this, and then I'll just put it all together and whatnot, which you'll see I have done that with other plants. So right now, just to keep this or make sure I don't damage anything on it, because I absolutely love this one. Yeah, look at that. That is absolutely gorgeous. The Longaloba. I keep this in leca and perlite. I do need to get a bigger container for it, as I see that it's getting bigger. But I will do like a repot, and maybe I may do like a repot and chat with you guys one day and just repot all my alocasias. I think that'll be pretty fun to do something kind of small like that. But this plant is absolutely growing humongous. As you can see, the stems are very, very long. I think I need to put this in a better place where light can be shown. I think I may need to kind of move around some plants and just kind of have like an alocasia shelf. I think that that'd be actually really dope. Absolutely love this plant, like with all my heart. This plant is so gorgeous, man. When I first got it, I couldn't even believe it, just because of how beautiful it is. Yeah, I mean, I just keep this watered, pretty much just like any of my other alocasias. Sometimes I do let it dry out, and I see that it is very forgiving or whatnot. And I think it lean like this right here because I have it in kind of an awkward place where light isn't above or whatnot. So I will be moving some things around in my plant room. So you'll see this one moved around, and hopefully next time you see it, you'll see some stems going straight up as opposed to gangster leaning to the side. So, yep. So now I am on my right side here. I have the Quilted Dream. A very, very gorgeous plant. I will pop up a picture on one of these sides over here because I think that this right now in its youngest form isn't giving you everything that I wanted to give you. And it is a gorgeous plant. So I don't want to take anything away from it. But right now it is not as big as it could be. So right now, I have this one and Leca Spagmoss, and it's doing okay. I have had some failures in there too. I got pretty much like some Alocasia corms or whatnot, and this one right here is surviving. So for sure, I definitely need to repot this one pretty soon because it is a survivor, and I want a plethora of these Quilted Dreams. I think that it is very gorgeous plant, very like corrugated, like you can see that kind of pillowy look to it or whatnot. Very gorgeous plant, absolutely gorgeous plant. Um, yeah, I guess that's really all I can really say about it. Um, Very beautiful plant. This here is my Yucatan Princess. I'm gonna come up and show it. Very gorgeous plant. I think on the bottom it should be a different color. Yeah, not as much as red, but you can see kind of the veins are kind of like a deep purplish color. This plant gets very, very huge. I'll pop up a picture. I got this free actually in Orlando when I went to We Love Plants or whatnot. Usually, if you buy some plants, she give you a plant too, kind of like smaller plants or whatnot. It wasn't really that major, but this plant is actually kind of a headache. So I'll tell you a little bit about it. So when I first got them, I got two of them, and I just kind of had them out in the open, and it was doing okay. But then I started to see that it was going down, and I thought that it was like the water, and it wasn't really the water. It wasn't really the container which is in, because I have it in leca, and I have this in look like soil or whatnot. Pretty much what they gave me, and it was just declining. So what I ultimately did was put it in my, what are these things called? My humidity domes, and it started to look better. If I show you one of them in there, you can see that that one is still not doing the best that it can. But this one is doing a lot better. So I actually may transfer this one to my IKEA greenhouse just to see what it does. And if it starts to do better there, then I'll go ahead and I'll put it outside here. This shouldn't really be a difficult alocasia because I've seen these outside in Florida. And most of you guys know that I am from Florida, Orlando originally. And I don't know why this plant is giving me such a hard time where it needs so much, humidity. I don't know, maybe in its smaller stage it needs a lot of humidity, but right now, like I said, I have it in there. You can see that this is doing a lot better than, well, this is doing just, you, I guess you had to just trust me on it. This is doing a lot better than it was before. And I've had this for maybe a few months now, because I can remember going maybe about 3 months ago, something like that, 3 or 4 months ago. And this is what it's giving me, which is still beautiful. Definitely not complaining, but this one definitely was a little headache. Alocasia Serendipity, or Yucatan Princess, and it's pretty interesting. But I do love this plant. I love the stem and how different that looks, and I'm pretty excited to see how big this grows. This one actually grows about as big as the Regal, if that doesn't even sound crazy to you. So I'm actually looking forward to this plant in a bigger stage, maybe by the summer, because it's actually still cold here in Georgia, which is where I'm located. It's still cold here, so I don't imagine like a lot of these plants just kind of booming or whatnot. I do have a heater in here, but sometimes it can get like too dang on hot in here. So I turn it on and off and stuff like that. So I just try my best to, get the plants what they want. Right now, like I said, I have it in my humidity dome. The dome is sitting on top of a heat mat, so it's always humidity in there. So for me to transfer, I'm gonna take it out of there, put it in my IKEA either kicker or my Detolf, and see if it does well in there for about a month. And then I may put it out here just to see what it's going to do. I think I'm going to move a lot of these plants over here and try to make this a Syngonium and Alocasia shelf, because I definitely appreciate these. And I have a lot of other, and I might like keep my Calathea over here. You can't really see too much of it, but I'm just letting you know what it's going to look like or whatnot, and then move some of my philodendrons around and stuff like that. So I got a lot of philodendrons, but I do love my Alocasias. So this one did give me some trouble. If you guys had trouble with this one right here, definitely tell me down below what you did with it. Especially to keep it out in like the natural air and humidity and stuff like that. I would really love to know that. I think that that would be very beneficial to myself and then people that comment down below. So yeah, okay, I'm gonna keep on moving on. The next one that I have here is the Alocasia Green Shield. As you see, it is primarily just green. It does have like a little kind of sinus up here. Sinus is, of course, the top of the plant, and sometimes they like split off. Sometimes they are whole. I do have a new leaf coming out of there. If you can kind of see that little stick. It is in a little bitty pot. I do want to repot it in this one right here. I do love glass containers because the humidity is a lot easier in there, and they are heavier because alocasias can definitely get very heavy. So that'll be very beneficial for myself and the plant. So when I put water in there, now more than likely put leca, just a little bit of layer of leca in there, not too much. And then I'll put this plant in there, which will take up maybe about that much right there. And then this plant should be able to still grow. I usually don't have issues with transferring alocasias, like they usually aren't temperamental, but like philodendrons or what the heck are those things called? Anthuriums. Usually they give me trouble, but alocasias typically don't give me trouble. So let me knock on wood, of course. But I absolutely like this plant, love this plant. It is very greenish, which I try to like get like other different color of plants or whatnot, but green is still good. Green is still good. So this here is the green shield. I just kind of want to show this little one right here. This is a baby Longoloba. Nice little corm. Like I said, I do keep plants I do use corms and fluval stratum. Fluval stratum, if you don't know what it is pretty much a substrate for planted aquariums. So it gives it nutrients for the planted plants, and it gives it nutrients for plants and aquariums. So this is just my little baby Longoloba. I'll put this over here with the mama Longoloba. So the next alocasia that I have here, as you see, is the Alocasia Dragon Scale Baganda. I believe that's how you say it. Very gorgeous plant. As you can see, that is green and the veins on it is red. And I really kind of had to like look this plant up because it does look very different. Like the silver dragon, this is very different than the silver dragon. The silver dragon is, of course, a lot more silver. This one is green with silver. The silver dragon is pretty much silver with like purple stripes and things like that. So this one kind of confused me sometimes. As you can see, got some new leaves. And I was kind of talking about it earlier where you will have alocasias to grow upward like this right here, kind of like very tree-like or whatnot. And I actually kind of like that. As you see that it is in leca and all of that right there. If I can show without that, yeah, no, okay, right there, yeah, just like that. So all of that is, of course, roots, and this one grows very well. I've had this one for a long time. I think it was, it got to be my my first couple alocasias whenever I got it or whatnot. Very gorgeous plant, definitely is a site for green eyes. If I can kind of make that comment saying that this pops up out of green plants or whatnot, and it definitely shows something different. It gives it definitely gives a different look to the alocasia, and it definitely pops out very beautifully. Like I said, right now I do have a leaf right there. If you can see that, looks very, very gorgeous. I love this plant. I love to look at it and admire it through all the green that is around it. This one is dying, but it's dying beautifully. I'm not going to take it off until it start to get like yellow or whatnot. And I know alocasias to be one of those plants where, depending on the conditions in which you have them in, they don't typically keep more than like 3 leaves. I do have some alocasias, as you kind of see, that has like 4 or 5 leaves, but I know alocasias to be one of those, once one is pushing in, if it doesn't get enough nutrients, then it will push one out to survive, which is kind of interesting because it keeps it growing upward and upward or whatnot. So I find that this is a very gorgeous plant. I absolutely love this plant. And I guess that's really all I can say about it. I have some corms down here in the substrate in the leca or whatnot, and then those will just grow up, and then I'll just have a second or third. I think I see 2 down there, so I have a third one probably by the summer or something like that. These allocations typically don't take long, so I'm loving that. One thing I will say with corms, if you want to chip away the husk that is around it, soak it in water for like a day, right? And when you do that, it softens up the husk and you can better chip it off. So that's a tip that I'm giving you right there. Hopefully that helps you. So this beautiful alocasia, as most people will know, is the green velvet or the Mycorrhizae. A lot of people say Friedeck. So I've heard multiple things, right? So some people say the Friedeck is actually the variegated version of this plant, right? So this one is the Alocasia Mycorrhizae, and the Friedeck is the variegated one. You can call it what you want. I like calling it the Mycorrhizae, just because it's funny. It's just a funny way to just kind of move your mouth. Mycorrhizae. Yes. So this plant is very, very gorgeous. Definitely easier plant to have if you can get your hands on a corm. That'd be really good. I know I have like a lot of corms, so I wish you guys were a lot closer to me. I can definitely give you or pick some out of here. Right now, I have it in this glass container. Like I said, I love glass container. I go to Goodwill, or I did go to Goodwill. I haven't been to Goodwill in like a really long time, but I used to go to Goodwill. And this is a lot heavier too, because this plant can get very heavy. This can get just as big as the Regal 2, just so you know. But I have it also in soil, and it seems to like that. And as you kind of see, there is, maybe you can't see it from there. So if you see this right here, try to put my hand in the hand, but there is a leaf coming right there. And then if you see this little corm right here, it's starting to grow up or whatnot. So that's what I mean when I talk about soil versus leca, where you'll start to see the soil come, you'll start to see like the corms come up out the soil. It may not be like that always with the leca. The leca sometimes suppresses it, and it kind of makes it hard for it to grow upward as opposed to the soil. So just always remember that if you see bulbs, you might have to repot it and just get the bulbs out of it, especially if it's something very rare or something like that, or very expensive. I would probably do a combination of the leca down at the bottom and maybe some type of soilless at the top, just so you can get the bulbs at the end of the time. But this one here is Mycorrhizae. Very, very easy plant. I love this plant. It looks really good, looks really gorgeous. Having it on my shelf, you can definitely see it out of a lot of plants. And that's one thing I'm really big on, is being able to see a variety of plants. So this one is definitely one of those plants if you want to get it. Very gorgeous. they hold a lot of leaves, as you kind of see. I have like 4 stalks here, and that's kind of what I like to do. If I can get one, or if I can get one genus of plant and put it all together and keep it bunchy, I love bunchy stuff like that. Let me know down in the comments, do you like your plants bunchy or do you like them singular? Me, I like them bunchy because I can do this right here. Let me go on to the next plant. So these 2 plants right here is the Gray Dragon, or Maharani. I'm gonna call it the Maharani from now. I do have it in 2 different what is called containers or whatnot. I do want to put them in one so I can put it just kind of like the Friday. So I'll just hold one because both of those together are very heavy. I'm gonna have to come up and show you. I love this pattern on it. It does have like a more expensive cousin, the Milo, but it's not that much different than I would pay any much more than just having this Maharani or whatnot. If you look at the bottom, very mature, that they have like a purple backing on it, which is very gorgeous as well. This is definitely like a turtle-like shell, so I think at one time I called it like Michelangelo or something like that, or the Ninja Turtles. Very gorgeous. You can definitely see that it's a difference in the texture of it. This one is a very more firm plant as opposed to some of the other softer plants like the Adora or whatnot. And it has very nice pattern on it, so you can definitely see this in a group of plants. I have this one in Leca with Spagnoum moss on it, and I just keep this one watered just like any of my other ones. I try to typically water these maybe twice a week because they are very thirsty plants, but as you see, they're still doing very, very well, so I will give them whatever they need. And that's pretty much it. I've had these Maharanis for a really long time, so I say that these are very easy going plants for sure. If ever you want to get into alocasias and you want to get something that just kind of looks different, maybe you just want something on a bookshelf or a desk or something like that, then definitely this one right here. I think that it is very forgiving. It's a very thick plant, so I would assume that it holds a lot of water in so that it can be very forgiving, as opposed to some alocasias that are a lot skinnier that can't be as forgiving as these plants right here. I will say I have not gotten any spider mites on this plant, knock on wood, or any other really plants. Any other bugs on it. So very gracious of that, and yeah, absolutely love this plant, the Maharani. So we have about 1, 2, 3, 4 more alocasias. I haven't really kept up with the number, but I might go back and I might count it. So as I have here now, this is the Ivory Coast. I know I've had this one for a really, really long time, and as you kind of see, I have this in this container with Leca. When I actually bought this, because I bought this off of Facebook Market, it did not have the amount of course, like leaves and everything that it does now. It actually came unrooted, which was very different. Alocasia unrooted, but it had leaves, so it was very, I don't know, it was weird. But I put it in Spagnoum moss in a slender glass container. I think it was like a green, a green glass container, and I put Spagnoum moss and then I put this in, and I think I did that maybe 2 years. So I think I've had this for at least 2 years now. But I absolutely love this Ivory Coast. First, it says Ivory Coast, and I'm black, so Ivory Coast, Africa. That's kind of where I got this from, which is of course probably where they got this plant from. Probably an Africanized plant or whatnot, and it just absolutely looks gorgeous. I have everything from baby plants in here to like the adult kind of stage. I don't think I'll replant it or whatnot or repot it, just because it's been in this container for so long, and it actually is doing very well. It grows above the leca, so the only thing that's really in the leca is the roots or whatnot, and everything else just kind of grows up out of it. I love this plant for everything that it is. Like, look at the stem, which is kind of a very pinkish color, and then of course the leaves are very, very beautiful. I'm gonna get that like kind of ashier, whiter with the green. If you can kind of see it laying down. Very, very gorgeous plant. I absolutely love this plant. I have no troubles with it. Once I got it rooted, it was absolutely easy from there. So I will always vote for this plant. Very gorgeous plant. I think it's definitely one of my top 3 because I went through so much trouble with it. I can remember buying 2 plants. I gave my friend one of them that was rooted, and I kept the other one. I don't know if she has I don't know if she still have this one, but I do. And I also have some corms down here too. Look like that. So if you guys remember this one down there from Hunter, this is Alocasia Ninja. It's still small, got 2 leaves or whatnot. So I'll pop up a picture if I can find one, how this looks when it gets older or whatnot. And I almost forgot about this one just because it's so small. But yeah, I had to make sure I throw this Alocasia in there in the mix or whatnot. I don't know too much about it. She does have this in this nice humidity dome. So as it gets bigger, I will be able to show you progress. But of course, you can go back and look at this video later, maybe about 6 months from now. I always say 6 months because a lot can grow in 6 months. So and see how small it was or whatnot. And then now I got recording of how small it was so I can show what it looked like. So yeah, this is the Alocasia Ninja. So I'm excited to see what this look like as it get older. I love the name, of course, Alocasia Ninja. How could you not like it, right? So the last Alocasia that I have for you is this Alocasia Blizzard. It is a variegated Alocasia. I used to have the Alocasia Fridex. Remember, we would call that one the variegated Mycorrhizae, but it like slowly melted. I'm not sure exactly what happened to it. At one point, I think I like stopped paying attention to it, and I just didn't see it again. I knew the container, but I don't know what happened to it. But this one right here, this Blizzard is pretty easy. I would say I'm glad of the greenish and the variegation as opposed to just the whitish part of it, because the whitish part of it doesn't have chlorophyll, and of course the plant grows with all the green spots on it as opposed to the white spots, which is very interesting because if you have like say a monstera that's all white, right, it's pretty difficult for that plant to grow or will continue growing because there's no chlorophyll in it, so it has to have some type of green in it. But you know, to each his own. I've seen all white monsteras. I think it goes kind of like halfway. Sometimes I see them doing well. Sometimes I'm like, that's probably not going to be good in you know, in a couple months or something like that. You know, definitely not wishing anything bad on it, but I've just seen that too much white isn't really good. Of course, you guys can, you know, talk about it down in the description. But that's pretty much it for me. Yeah, I appreciate you guys coming through as always. Yeah, we are consistent. We are doing these things. I hope that you guys have a great weekend. Definitely comment down below. I'm trying to stay up with you guys and comment. I see I'm getting a lot more comments, which is a good thing. I appreciate you guys once again. I am Jumanji's Plants, and yeah, y'all have y'all a good week or a good weekend, depending on when you watch it, I guess. But as always, love, peace, and plants.